I've got Lana Button here. Hi, Lana.
Hi, Miriam. How are you?
Lana Button is a published author, educator, presenter with a background in early childhood education and performance. Lana has published more than a dozen children's books about social, emotional topics, has inspired young readers all across Canada. 12 books later, how does that feel to be a multi-children's book author?
It feels amazing. It took me 6 years to get my first book published. I have 3 girls and my daughters watched me. They grew up with this story as I honed my skills. And I remember saying to them, you know what, gosh, I'd love to write one more. And then, I would just one more and I'll be happy. And then what if I could get to 5? It's been a journey, and I'm as proud as a mom to show my girls that I did it, that I have a book in my hand. I've been able to reach a lot of students. My book has inspired them and helped them. It was worth all those years for sure.
Oh, I love that. So 12 books in, how did you do that while having a full-time job and raising a family?
I think that it was a gift to myself. You're working on your dream, even if it's a half an hour a day, at least you're going forward with something that means a lot to you. It will feed on all of the other things that you have to do. That you don't have to complete a whole book in one day, but if you just work on it a bit, and sometimes working on it is reading about your craft, going to a workshop, all of those things are filling your well so that when you do have a little bit of extra time, you've got a jumping part. Surrounding yourself with the people who are doing what you dream to do. I got a lot of encouragement. Being in that energy really, really fuels me. My book, Tough Like Mom, was written up in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and the Toronto Globe and Mail, on a few Children's Choice Awards. Some of the things that mean the most to me, I was in the Happy Meal in the Scholastic Book Order, which to me, growing up in a small town in New Brunswick, we didn't have a bookstore, so that little magazine that would come home was a big deal for me. The biggest accomplishment is when I hear from a kid or a teacher or a parent to say, your book helped. Your book inspired my child. I keep those emails, I keep those little pictures, and it's important to remind yourself so that you can keep going. Along with the work in writing the book, you have to keep going. It's just a tenacity that you need.
You're 12 books in. We know Willow was your first book, but how did you get started as an author?
I never saw myself as an author as I was growing up. I actually saw myself as a movie star. I always say that when I present with children, I've always wanted to perform, making up characters. And I sang at every show. I was in every play that I could get in, and I went off and I studied acting. But the other thing that I've always loved is working with kids. I was the kid that babysat every weekend. I was the kid that volunteered, looked after the little ones while, there was a meeting going on. So as I was acting and waitressing and acting, I missed the other part of me, of working with children. I went back to study early childhood education, and there was a teacher that introduced picture books and the magic of picture books. And I just fell in love with the whole process of picture books. I love that a picture book is like a performance. It's intended to sound really great when you read it out loud. It's a 5-minute performance, and it can really inspire and help a child. And so I thought, that's what I want to do. I was starting without the education in writing, just with a passion to perform and a passion to inspire kids. I just read everything I could about writing, and I just started sending things out and getting a lot of rejections and trying to hone my craft. It was years of figuring that out before I got my first book.
Lana, what is a piece of advice that you would give an aspiring author out there who is feeling down or it's not feeling motivated, or anything that you would say to them?
If there's anyone around you that's saying, oh, that's cute, or that's, almost like that's a waste of time, but that's kind of cute that you're doing that. I try to surround myself with the people who are excited to create. And so that's why workshops and conferences and the things that you're having, like with Believe, are so important. Handscape has a fantastic conference, and that was my one treat. When my children were young, that was my one treat I got a year. is that I got a babysitter and I got to Toronto and I spent that day, and that fueled me for the year. I was so inspired to be around writers. Surround yourself with the people who are doing what you want to do. You need to prioritize your dreams because it makes you better at everything else that you do.
I love that. I appreciate that, Lana. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to get in a virtual room with you, Miriam. I look forward to September. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.